Morning all, how we doing? Another Friday. Got a quick DAX gap fill play going at the minute. Posted at the Telegram group this morning. Morning Diamond. Nice gap this morning. Big one. Big gap. I'm not quite sure why we gapped up quite so high. But I mean, last time we did this, it's filled. Typically it will fill, obviously. Gaps do. Whether or not it's going to fill straight away at the open or not, don't know. Would be very nice if it did, but certainly had a go at it this morning. We moved down. I've already taken one position off of this that I took. I've banked some profit down here. And it's just pulling back at the moment. It's just done a 50% pullback. So hopefully at the open, we'll just get that drop. It's a long way to go. So I'll probably scale out on the way down. That's about 1.5% profit on these three positions. Maybe a little bit more. So I'll probably scale out of some of it as it comes down, but it's worth the risk, I think, this morning. It's a big one. Nice size. Morning, Stevie. Morning, David. Yesterday we had another update, but we're not getting anywhere on DAX, so which is why I'm quite surprised we gapped up quite so high this morning. Obviously we had that big drop. We pulled back and rejected. We pulled back again and rejected. We pulled back again and rejected. We pulled back again. We've rejected. So we had, although these are up days, these three up days, if you actually look at the last down day we had, we haven't actually broken the highs. The market is still rejecting and still seller dominant, but obviously we've got this huge gap. So it's highly likely we're going to get this fill. It's whether or not they're going to do it this morning at the open. Well, it'd be lovely if they do, because that's me done for the day. But and it's Friday, so I can just basically knock off. Possibility of knocking off at 8:30 in the morning, isn't that nice? Knocking off as everybody else is about to start work. But I've banked $400 odd on the other account this morning already, and I've got very similar positions running on that account as well. So it's either going to be 1.5% loss. I've banked 0.5% already, or it's going to be about 4 or 5% gain and done. So we'll see. One or the other. Certainly going the right way at the moment, but like Diamond said in the Telegram group, these are always a bit unnerving when you take them pre-market open. If they don't get their pre-market, like yesterday's got their pre-market, it was just done dusted. It was lovely. When they don't get their pre-market, and this one's got a long way to go, it's quite nerve-wracking, because obviously you get that volatility at the open, and it's quite possible volatility would just take you out, and then it will come and do the gap close. So you've got to be prepared to jump back in and take that loss if it happens. Happy Friday, ladder. News today, nothing. We've got University of Michigan consumer sentiment this afternoon at 3 o'clock. That doesn't tend to move the market. It's just a leading indicator that the analysts and the scorecarders use. Doesn't tend to actually put any volatility into the market. Mester speaking at 5 o'clock. It's all done and dusted by 5, so unlikely anything's going to change there. Not quite sure where that's happening. During and after the pandemic. What? Due to speak about monetary policy during and after the pandemic at an online event hosted by the European Central Bank. During and after the pandemic. Oh, monetary policy during and after the pandemic. I was going to say, the way I read that was he's due to speak about monetary policy during and after the pandemic. What? But yeah, monetary policy during and after the pandemic is what he's talking about. It's a bit of a weird sentence, that. But anyway. So yeah, I'm not really interested in it anyway. So that's it. No news. Week's done. Next week, we've got monetary policy report hearings on Monday. They won't tend to be something that necessarily will change monetary policy, they wouldn't really release that information there, but you do get some hints every now and again in those that the bank will, that the market will react to. Aussie dollar, monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday. We've got retail sales next week. We've got Powell speaking. We've got CPI. We've got all the usual stuff. Unemployment for the Aussie. So yeah, quite a bit happening next week. A lot more red news events, and early on in the week as well, which is nice. So get some decent volatility early on, unlike this week where it was all pretty flat. So yeah, good moves. Shall I bank one of those? Where's my DAX? I'm tempted to bank one of these. In fact, I'm tempted to bank the lot and just take this 1.2%. I've had such a good week. I don't really want to put a load of risk on the table. I'm going to close one out. That does me 1.5%. Sorry, that does me 1% for the morning. I'm going to let 2 run. We've got 30 seconds to the open. So we'll watch the open, have a look at all the other indices, and then we'll take a quick look through all the FX pairs. The only thing to say ADR today is CAD Yen. We've got plenty of RSI extensions we can look at. So we'll have a whiz through all of that, but let's just wait for this to open and see if we get this gap fill attempted this morning. Okay, break of these lows. I'm just going to see if we get a break and hold of this low. If we get a break and hold of this low, I might look at adding one more. So we've done this is basically a perfect retest of the high of yesterday, look. This low here. That's why we got that bounce. There's a load of people buying the high of day because it was a bull candle. Actually, I'm just going to reduce risk a little bit. I don't want to put too much on. Stop basically above that high. So I'm just looking to get gathered up and then hopefully retest and drop. So I'm in that position now. Struggling at the lows. I haven't got the crickets on, have I? So Struggling down there. Okay, so a bit of a lackluster at open. It is bearish. There's not a lot of activity happening though, so might be a fairly slow drop, but hopefully we'll just get that continuation push down. I'm toying with the idea of just taking this. I was hoping for a bit of a bigger volley at the open. They don't seem particularly keen to sell down to this gap. Just closing another one out. Now they're coming. Just moving my stops on both of these positions. Actually, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go just above the opening range high. Just reducing the risk down on this position to virtually break even. And this is obviously 0.25%. Not a very convincing open. We didn't manage to break that low. Now it's going. Here come the sellers. So again, a bit of momentum coming through now. I'm literally just going for the gap fill, nothing more exciting. So this is either going to whiz down and do this in the next 10 minutes, or we're going to get a gradual move down. So if you want to get into additional positions on this, wait for some bullish pullbacks, sort of 30-50% pullbacks to get into additional positions if you want to get in, assuming they're obviously going to do this morning. I shall leave that running. Yeah, it's not a lot happening. Let's have a quick look at the other indices. So other indices, Nasdaq, we had a down day yesterday. So we had that nice big rundown, 1 bar pullback, started another rundown, pulling back at the moment. Potential to carry on. This is a big sell-off for the Nasdaq. So if you look at this and historically, if we get a 3 to 5 day move, we either go into an accumulation or we go into a pullback. We've had a good six days now, pretty much, where we've done nothing but sell off. Highly likely we're going to get a pullback from here. This level here is an obvious resistance to aim for. So this accumulation in here is potentially where we're going to try to pull back to, which would bring the 24 moving average down on top of it. We get a bit of rejection at these lows. I'm just going to close that out. What's So $100. That's done. $1,100 for breakfast. What a contrast to yesterday. I'm going to close that out. Yesterday lost about $1,300 at the open. This morning made $1,100 at the open. Swings and roundabouts. Just shows you how much it is about literally just getting in and getting out. You've got no control over where it's going. You get in with an idea, you get out. When the idea plays out, it doesn't play out. And if you're happy with it, bank it. Done. That's me done for the morning. Done for the day, basically. Nasdaq. So if you want to get into this again, continue. Look for bearish price action. I think we're probably going to do the gap fill. It's just not worth me risking. I've done it. I've done today. So I'm not going to just trade for trade's sake. But pending order under the low. So sell stop under the low. If we're pulling back, sell stop under the candles as we come up and wait for price to break back down. Opening range breakout. You can take that to the low as well, whichever way you want to get into it. But it could well obviously not do this gap now, this session. It could well just do that. The other indices obviously are looking like they need to be bullish, which I'll go through the other indices in a sec. So they may come down and do this in New York. So just bear in mind, you know, we don't know when it's going to do it. It's going to do it. We just don't know when. So Nasdaq's looking like a pullback due. If you look at where we're getting to on the daily, we're stuck, or not stuck, but we are in this accumulation here. So we've got this area here and these highs here, where we sat in balance for 3 or 4 months, where the market was not interested in moving. This was after the pandemic hit. We recovered from the pandemic. We pushed hard, and then we went into an accumulation. That's where we bounced from that accumulation, and this is where we are basically pulling back to now. We're jumping back into here, so it's highly likely we're going to find a lot of support in this area and a lot of potential accumulation. You're still in it, going for it. Yeah, go for it. I still think it's going to fill. It's just, like I said, I'm happy with what I've banked. There's no point in pushing it, because if it doesn't work out, it just makes you cross. So if you banked enough, right, take it. If you haven't, do it. I think it's going to fill. It's struggling. It's really. I'm just watching it on my other chart, on my other monitor. It is struggling at these lows at the minute. But this is, if we break above here, then yeah, we know that this is holding. If it doesn't break above there, it's just accumulating, isn't it? Which is absolutely fine. So this is where your sort of point of no return is. And then I'd be looking for bearish price action up at these highs here and looking to jump in and get an even bigger move back down to there. It's going to do it. It's definitely going to do it. It's just when. So we're stuck in this. We're not stuck. We've got to this area of potential support. It's reached down to it very, very quickly as well. Big sell-off. The S&P, same thing. We had a lovely hammer form yesterday on the S&P. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down days on the trot now on the S&P. So big sell-off on the S&P. Similar sort of thing on the S&P. It's not quite as well defined on the S&P, but we've got this accumulation where we literally, we had a push up and down that month, then a push up and down, but you see the gains are very, very, very small. So, and there to there. Yeah, so it's 3 tiny up months, which is very accumulative. that's where we're getting back into now. So again, we're starting to reject this area. I'll be looking for a pullback up to here, and then 24 to come down and continue. The target is down here or here on the S&P. On the Nasdaq, it's the same sort of thing. We've only got the one really on Nasdaq. This was just a nice clean move to the upside. So if you draw on this support resistance here and down there, it's more there, isn't it? So this is the area we're potentially going to bounce around in. So it's quite possible for them to push out, come back in, and then we'll get stuck. So we're entering a bit of turbulence on the indices, a little bit more difficult to pick a direction. This could be where they're deciding to turn back up and sort of go into an accumulation for a while. The Dow, again, another down day on the Dow. Really due an update. The Dow's been a little bit trickier on its drop. This absolute low here and that one there are kind of in the middle of an old high and low, so they're not exact sort of levels that you could say, yeah, that is an algorithmic bounce off of support, and it's a lot less defined, the accumulation in this one. So it's more difficult to pick levels on, but they all do the same thing. They're all moving very much in the same way. The Dow is just not as fast as the rest because obviously it's only got 30 stocks in it. It's impacted less by less stocks, but it is a little bit more volatile when it does move because one stock movement has a 1 in 30 chance of moving that, than obviously with something like the Nasdaq, you've got 100 stocks, and if one stock moves hard, obviously it doesn't have quite as much impact, so the volatility is a little bit less. So all looking like they're due a pullback. So just be aware of that today. So with the gap fills, obviously these have all got gap fills as well to do. So S&P and the Nasdaq's a bit bigger. So play for me is gap fills done this morning on all of these, and then this afternoon longs. See if we can get some decent long movement this afternoon. I'm probably not going to trade this afternoon though. Just because I don't need to today, and as I say, it's been a good week. So, but that's what I would be looking for, long opportunities this afternoon. So drop at the open in New York and then rallies after. So if New York opens with a downward movement, looking for the first signs of bullish price action to jump in long. Or reversal alerts, obviously on low time frames. Right, that's indices done. Gold I'll quickly cover. Obviously I don't trade gold, but a lot of people do. So we've broken down. US dollar strength is continuing at the moment. We are a little bit sideways on the US dollar at the minute, but overall, obviously US dollar has been very strong. That's pushed the price of gold back down. We're just coming back down into this area of balance at the moment. A bit of selling pressure coming in on the DAX. So, you know, it's very similar to what we've just been discussing on the indices. We're running into an area where the market was very happy to conduct business for months and months and months on end. The price of gold was very fair here. We're entering that territory now. So again, same sort of thing, likely to hit some kind of resistance there. Oh, I'm really tempted to take another short on this. There's your bearish price action. Give this. You got 2.5 minutes left on this candle. If this closes an opening range break to the low, 600. I'm gonna do it at 0.25% risk. TP is going to be the same. It's a 1-to-1. Sellers are starting to come in, so let's go for it. Let's do it together. Gold. Accumulation. So accumulation and kind of bounce. But assuming we are going to continue with US dollar strength, there's no reason why we shouldn't use the 24 and the 72 to help with support resistance bounces to the upside and downside. So for the downside in this case, looking for bounces back and continue on the way down. Obvious support resistance levels on this as well. That's held. So looking for this to also hold if we push back down, coming back up into here, and then continue to another leg down. So that's gold. I've got a trade on at the moment on Litecoin, on Ethereum long. So I took a long on Ethereum yesterday. I haven't got Ethereum on here. Let me just grab Ethereum. I don't trade crypto. I hate crypto. Only because I don't understand it. But I took a long on this, not on this account, on my other account. I took a long on this yesterday because of where we are bouncing on the daily. So there's loads of lines on here from other instruments. That's one of the other things that bugs me about MT4. When you draw something at a price point in MT4, when you flick over to another instrument that has a similar price point, your lines from the previous instrument are still on there. It just draws them at levels. It doesn't draw them at levels per instrument. One thing they could really improve upon. But this level here, yeah, this daily support. Okay, this is the absolute low support down here. Where we've bounced yesterday is off of here. So let me just draw it in properly. Yeah. So this bounce that we got yesterday was spot on the close and the open of those daily candles, which was obviously a rejection of the previous daily level, which was a rejection of the previous daily level, which is a rejection now. So pushing up hard at the minute. We've got a nice bullish engulfing going in. So I've got two positions on this at the moment, and I've got two pending orders as well set as this thing pushes higher. So I've got, what have I got? 1913.50. So somewhere around here I've got one. I've got 2061. So somewhere around, it's a break of that high. I've got pendings at 2151, which is on a break of this high. And I've got a limit order at 1824, which is around this accumulation, which is where the reversal, it's just below the reversal alert. It's around about the reversal alert on M5. So I've got a pending there. The idea being is I've got an order there, an order there. If we can continue to put a bull day in and put a lovely big bullish engulfing in, I'm going to get into another position ready for a push next week. If we pull back and retest today's low, I'm going to enter a pending buy limit there to see if they come and retest the low. Ultimate stop out is under here. Not a massive amount of risk, but yeah, it's. I think it's a decent trade. Commissions. Good question. Doesn't show commission. Shows me a swap, but doesn't show me a commission. It's interesting. There is no commission. Weird. Anyway, this is MT5. Just out of interest, has anybody got any experience with Traders Central as a prop firm? I'm doing an evaluation with them. They only use MT5. I was doing 100k evaluation with them. I'm basically copy trading my trades from my funded the other one I've been with. What are they called? My Forex funds. I'm copying the trades from my Forex funds over onto Trader Central. I'm trying them out, seeing how basically they are as a prop firm, which is where I've got that trade on. I'm in their Telegram group as well, and I am seeing nothing but complaint after complaint. Literally, there are 10,000 members in that Telegram group. There must be 1,500 comments a day in the Telegram group. I see nothing but complaints. Absolute. Where's my account? Where's my account? Where's my account? Where's my account? I'm just past phase 1 evaluation on a 2-step. Where's my logins for step 2? Please talk to the risk team. The risk team, you get given a message. People are saying, I've been talking to the risk team for 3 days. Nobody is responding to me. When am I going to get my funded account? The risk team are looking at it. What the hell's a risk team looking at anything for? What's that got to do with anything? My Forex funds, I passed the evaluation. Within 12 hours, I've got 100k in my account. There's nobody looking at anything. This is all... I don't know what's going on, but this looks like an absolute scam, this Trader Central. Anyway, I'm taking an evaluation with them. I'm $3,800 profit into an 8,000 target. I'm on day 4. So I'll let you know how it goes. But I'm on 2-stage evaluation. So after I pass stage 1, apparently I have to go through risk analysis. And then they will put me onto stage 2, and then I go through risk analysis again, and then they'll give me a funded account. But I've got a funny feeling probably 1 out of 100 people actually get a funded account because they come up with some crappy rule that says, oh no, you don't trade the way we want you to, or something stupid. Yeah, anyway, go and check them out. The only reason I'm using them is because they approached me in Telegram and asked me to become one of their affiliates. And asked me to do promotions on all of my videos, and they were going to pay me. And then I asked how much, and they vanished. And they haven't come back to me. So I thought, right, well, I'll check you out. I'll do an evaluation with you. And it costs $300, 300, whatever, $300 something dollars. So yeah, I'll let you know. But I just wonder if anybody's got any experience with Trader Central. Their website looks pretty funky, but I'm not 100% convinced, to be honest. Traders Central. It's these guys. Get ready for a mind-blowing colour thing. So this is who I'm with. The reason I'm interested in them is because it's very, very, very simple. There are no trailing daily drawdowns. There's nothing complicated. You have a target, max loss target, which for me is 10k. I have a profit target of 8k, which is 8%, and that's it. This doesn't trail, doesn't do anything. So basically, I get given 100k. I either lose 10k or I make 8k. There are no other rules. That's it. The only other rule they have is martingale, which is interesting enough. They will not allow you to add to a losing position with any more than the exact lot size you entered that position with. So if I enter with 1 contract long, or 1 lot long, I can't enter with 1.1 long. That's considered martingale. So that's the only rule they have. They don't allow martingale. Don't have to use a stop, don't have to use a TP. You've got minimum of 10 days trading. So usual stuff, but I like them because there is no trailing of any kind. I've got 10k to play with in drawdown. I've got to have 50% positive days, which is not a problem because I don't have many losing days. But yeah, if anybody's got any experience with them, good or bad, and looking at the bloody Telegram group, I haven't seen any positives. Maybe it's just maybe there's a load of positive people out there that are just trading with them and they're absolutely happy, and all I'm seeing is the negatives. But my God, the negatives. It's just going on and on and on and on. It's the same thing over and over again. Where's my account? Where's my account? Where's my account? Where's my logins? Why am I not getting my logins? I've passed stage 2. How long will it take? It's been 3 days. I've been talking to your risk team. Why is your risk team not getting back to me? You know, it just seems like either they've grown way too fast and they've got no customer support in place, or they are just terrible. I don't know, but this is one I'm on. You can trade crypto on it as well, which is interesting. So I'm on that and that. So decent leverage, profit target, 10% drawdown, got a trade for 10 days. I chose this over 5% daily loss limit because I hate loss limits. Doesn't work that way trading. You have a couple of losing days on the trot, you're out. Everybody has a couple of losing days on the trot. This is much more interesting for me. I can definitely do 5 out of 10 winning days, not a problem. That I can't control what my loss is necessarily going to be. So that appeals to me as well. So I've chosen that one. And then stage 2 is exactly the same, except you've only got to do 4% target. And the profit share is 85%, which is very good. So $300. Bargain. Anyway, I'll let you know how I get on. It's all money in the end of the day, isn't it? Pushing back up again at the moment. We're still within the opening range, so we're just doing accumulation. This is textbook yesterday, isn't it? Absolute textbook yesterday. I learnt my lesson yesterday. It stops well outside the opening range because yesterday they absolutely murdered us. We'll see. But we're not going anywhere at the minute. Right. So I went off on an absolute tangent then, talking about Ethereum. So Ethereum I'm long on. The upside is huge. The downside is minimal. That's the only reason I'm in it. I don't trade crypto normally, but I just saw this. My wife, I got in this because my wife said to me last night, said, "What's this thing about crypto and the crypto crash?" Talking about Luna. And Ethereum lost 20% of its value. So Ethereum dropped. Anything that drops that much, that fast, I'm interested, obviously, mean reversion. So I looked at it, opened up the chart and saw where it was bouncing and jumped in immediately without thinking twice. It's a triple bottom bounce, or it's not. If it's not, I'm out. If it is, happy days. A lot of upside to it. A lot of upside. So I could easily make 10 grand out of this long. So that's the only reason I'm in. But we'll see. Again, I don't know why it's dropped. There is some complicated, convoluted blockchain reason to do with Luna, which just don't understand, don't really want to understand, which is why I don't trade all this stuff. It's far too complicated. There's much easier things to trade out there. But hey, at the end of the day, stuff bounces off support and resistance, so worth a shot. We're just retesting opening range highs at the minute. There's a fair bit of buying coming in at the moment. So let's see, we've got 3 minutes left on this candle. Let's see if they can close outside the opening range. Or this is basically a pullback. Morning blinded. That's Sammy, isn't it? Is it? How's trading going? Better now? I've always been good. You mean trading in general? No, trading in general is much more difficult. Certainly not better. It's getting better. I'm getting more back into position trading now. So, yeah, it's getting better. If that is Sammy, I'm sure it is, isn't it? Yeah, you'll tell me if you are. We've rejected the highs. Still 2 minutes left. Watch where this closes. If this closes back inside this range, it's a good short. Right, let's have a look at where we are with FX. So the only positions I've got on at the moment, Euro CAD I closed out in full yesterday. Initially in the morning, initially what I did was I closed out these 3 positions here, banked a nice profit on those. Then we started to push up, and then we pulled back down again, and then we put in a bullish engulfing. And the reason I closed the rest of the positions out was because they were in profit. They weren't in profit. They were like about $10 in loss. So it was basically break even. Here's Sammy. Yeah, hi. So I got out of the rest of it. Reason being is because I've got Euro odd on short as well. I'm a bit overloaded on the Euro. I had too many positions on. So I've closed all this out. Nice profit on the entire position. It came down again a little bit this morning, but I exited that one completely. I've got Euro odd on at the moment. I'm sitting on break even at the moment. I've got a sell stop sitting underneath the Asian session. So if basically Euro has another down session, I'm going to add into that to try and get down towards these lows. If we get down to these lows, I will close the whole lot out, and that'll be me done on this move on the Euro, which has been very, very, very profitable. We're in an accumulation this week. So obviously we opened on Monday with a massive flurry, and then we've basically just gone into an accumulation for the rest of this week. So what I'm looking for today is them to come back down and retest these lows to see whether or not we can get more buyers coming in. DAX is buying quite hard at the minute. They're all coming to retest highs at the moment, of one form or another, all the indices. If we break down below this, we're going to retest this area here, and then if that fails, we should be good to go. I think this is a short still. I'm not sure how far it's going to go, and the Euro seems to be getting a little bit of strength coming through at the minute, and the Australian dollar hasn't, which is what slightly worries me about this trade. But I'm looking basically for it to come down anyway. You can see where my targets are in this accumulation here. But I will probably close this out because I don't want to hold it over the weekend. So plan is to get a little bit more size on, which I'm just about to get gathered into now. So break of the Asian low, basically I'm just playing the breakout short. And then when we get down to here, I will see what we're doing. I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert down here just so that I can watch this when we get down there. So I've got that on, and I've got my friend the Swiss yen. So Swissy yen, I'm doing aggressive drawdown control on this. I closed out some on this as a loss yesterday, which is that one here. So I took a little bit of a loss yesterday on that. You see I took a little bit of loss on that initial move that I was looking for, and before it started to collapse. So I'm left with 3 positions basically above me. So what I've done is got into an aggressive position down here. Rather than getting what I usually do with aggressive drawdown control, is I usually take on one position with a higher lot size, usually either a half to 100% of my position. So that would be a 15 to 30 long. What I decided to do was scale in with multiples down here as I saw price unfolding. So it's a bit more of a controlled aggressive drawdown control, if you see what I mean, which has held at the moment. So that obviously has brought my average from here down to here, which gives me an out. So what I'm looking for is a 61.8 retracement on this move. If the yen is going to continue to power up, and that is a big if, because the yen is not meant to be powering up. The Bank of Japan have also said that they're happy to devalue the yen further, so I'm not quite sure why we got so much strength on the yen. But if it is going to continue on its merry way down, I'm looking for a 50 to 61.8 retracement. So again, I'm going to be watching this with eagle eyes down here. I've just added another position on this morning as well, as we got this reversal alert. So I'm just going to set an alert there when I get above break even, and then I will evaluate that. So it is what it is at the moment. It's either going to stop out down here, so I'm going to stop out the aggressive drawdown control position below these lows, or we are going to do the retracement that I'm expecting today back up into this area, and then we will do what we want from there. I don't care what it does when it gets there, because I'll be out. But very, very nicely extended. Obviously on the 4 hour, huge 4 hour extension, which is why we're getting the bounce at the moment. So I'm looking for that sort of movement. But ultimately, this is the accumulation here before we broke. So I think it's got every chance of getting back up to 130,800. I'm just not going to hold it that long. What I want today is a flurry. I want weakness on the yen at the open, London session to give me a nice big bull candle, and I'm out of the lot and I'm flat for the weekend. That's perfect. That'll do me, because I've got a 14% week at the moment, and I've got a couple of percent to knock off of it. So I'd like to get this all flat, if possible, but we'll see. DAX has taken me out. So watch these highs. And then obviously watch those highs for short opportunities. Obviously target is there, very easy target today, but it's when it's going to do this. At the moment, market structure obviously is still bearish until we break that high. When we break that high, we've got a potential peak formation low reversal in play. I've just gone positive on Euro odd. Do I take that off? All the euros are weak. I'm going to leave it running. Price action is still bearish for the moment on M5. It's getting pretty close. Hoping to bounce down to the 50 on the DAX. Yeah, it's your double top. So that's your sell there now. I'll just read you. I'm not slating this Trader Central company. I've got no experience with them at all, this prop firm. But this is typical. I'm just reading what is coming into the Telegram group in Trader Central community now. Hello, this is the third time already when I'm writing here in the hope of getting my credentials for a resetted challenge. My challenge finished on the 22nd of April and I didn't get the new credentials. Today is exactly 3 weeks and contacting support from the website doesn't work because pressing the Get Help tab button does exactly nothing. So could you possibly get my credentials after 3 weeks maybe? And this is what I see non-stop in the Telegram group for Trader Central prop firm is people literally days and weeks of contacting support, literally just getting blanked and ignored. So it's either they've got 100,000 customers and 3 guys trying to field these emails, or there's something else going on behind the scenes. And we've seen these types of prop firms appear before and then vanish because their business model is take the money from the evaluations and then the people that get funded, give them a demo account, and if they manage to hold that demo account for a month and request a payout, the money you get from the evaluations, you use that to pay the guys their profit share. No one ever trades a live account. What happens is you get a load of traders suddenly hit it and they all pass the evaluations, they all then get a load of money and they make money, and then they all go for payouts and they go, uh-oh, we haven't made enough evaluation money, and they go pop and they vanish and they disappear. Which is why when I say pick a prop firm that's been established, like Top Step, Apex, My Forex Funds, 5%ers, anybody that's been around for 2 or 3 years is not going anywhere. CTI, yeah, these are the established prop firms. These guys that pop up, 6 months old, as far as I'm concerned, Trader Central, that's what the website is. You know, their business model is make 5 million quid and run off. If it gets to the point where we can't pay the people that are funded and they're doing too well, disappear. Or they are one of these companies that is farming you out to third-party prop firms, and there's a lot of these prop firms out there where they do the evaluations with you, you prove you can trade, and then they give you to a third-party prop firm. So a prop trading floor in London, for example, will be looking for traders, good traders. Whether they're online or whether they come and sit at a desk is irrelevant. They give them a portfolio of cash and they want them to use it. The problem with that is those prop firms do not accept anybody. They've got very strict risk guidelines. They want you to be trading in a certain way with certain parameters. So if you pass your evaluation and it's not the parameters the prop firm's looking for, the prop firm won't accept you. So the prop company online that you did the challenge with turns around and goes, actually, you didn't quite trade as you should have done. So we're not going to give you a funded account. But they don't put that in their rules because they don't know why you're going to get turned away. So, yeah. Don't know. It's just that I've never seen a Telegram support channel like this before. It literally is non-stop moaning. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm watching it out of the corner. I'm going to turn it off because it's distracting me. Indecision candle, spinning top at the highs. So watch this candle close. If this candle closes bearish, this is potentially a double top rejection if you're watching the DAX. Right, getting back to FX. CAD yen is all we've got so far on the ADRs. So we had a big strong push up. So the yens have done very well in Asia. We got up to ADR on the CAD yen, not particularly interesting level. So it's just basically hit ADR and bounced off. So if you were trading during the Asian session, you had a lovely 5 minute on that. I know you didn't. It was an awful 5 minute. You wouldn't have got into it. If you got into it there, don't take these massive long reversal alerts. They're just accumulations. It's not a reversal. That's a reversal alert. That's an accumulation. So CAD yen's the only one that's hit ADR. There's no other ADRs hit. The yens have had a very nice morning. So Asia, we've had a lovely push up. They're all doing very, very similar thing this morning. So this is indicative of a weak yen, which you would expect after the strong days of yen that we've had. So these all look like longs at the moment, which is good because I've got the long on obviously the Swiss yen, and the reason we've been taking these longs is because every single one of them has got massively extended on this drop. So beautiful 24 bounce on the US dollar yen. New Zealand dollar yen, massive extension. We've bounced off of support here. The pound yen, lovely big extension, beautiful rejection at the lows, pushing up nicely. So they're all doing the same thing. Huge extensions on RSI, and obviously now we're in the pullback session, which obviously is why I'm on that Swiss yen long. So whichever of these yens you took, they've played out nicely. The CAD yen has the CAD's been the weakest of the bunch, so the CAD yen has obviously made the most gain at the moment. So watching this level here on the CAD yen, same with all of these. Obviously after this drop, we're watching where we broke down from. So the propulsion gaps that were formed when the yen strengthened up, that will have come out of an accumulation. Yeah, same as that one there. Accumulation drop, accumulation drop. So the propulsion gaps basically is where we're looking for sellers to start kicking in if they're going to kick in. So we should be able to get a good trade up into those areas. So all the yens basically, we looked at a couple of these yesterday on the hourly RSI extensions. There's nothing lit up at all today. So they were all nicely extended yesterday, a couple of them, and they're obviously all bounced. So there's the RSI extension. Whoops. On the hourly yesterday, so anywhere down here on M5 or M15 that you got in, you're well out with a nice profit. So yeah, there's nothing lit up today. We've got no news today either, so I would expect today is literally just going to be a push reversal from the previous day's action. Stevie, I'm still in yen pairs from yesterday, euro, pound and New Zealand. Long, I assume. Yeah, you must be. Yeah, so I mean, I'd hold them. I'm holding the Swiss yen at the moment. They're all selling off very nicely, all the yens. So New Zealand dollar yen, yeah. Got a long way to go on this. 125 ADR today. There's every possibility we're going to get a V-shaped recovery on these and more, because the yen's devalued. You know, as I said, the US dollar yen, the Bank of Japan has openly said we are going to take this up to 135. We're happy. We're not going to take it there. Obviously, they don't want it to go there, but they're happy to take it up to 135. They would be comfortable with the US dollar yen going there. They've said it. So we've got, this is a 24 bounce in accumulation at the minute. I think it's long all the way up there. I'm just not going to hold it. I'm not going to hold it that long, but it's got a long way to go. That's what worries me. We didn't get a bounce at a level. If we'd have bounced there, I'd be much happier with it. But even so, this needs a retracement. Yeah, every big drop has a big pullback. Everybody that's sold to get out of their positions has to become a buyer. Everybody that's sold to get out of their positions has got to become a buyer. It's just the way the market works. It's what buying and selling is. So yeah, so all looking good for longs. I love the way it's bouncing off of my break-even line. Look, how many times that happens? I see this over and over again. My break-even line becomes support and resistance. It always happens to me. Yes, long. Yeah, good. So there's nothing on the hourlies to look at. No hourly RSI extensions. DAX is holding. Anybody get in? Bearish engulfing. I'm getting in. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm getting in. Not on this account. I'm getting in on the other one. It's $160 risk and $900 reward, so worth a go to me. I'm trying to get ahead of the evaluation basically, because you've got to trade for 10 days. The other thing about Trader Central, just sorry to keep going on about them, but they, on this 50% rule, 50% positive days, if you take that version of the evaluation, you cannot trade small lots. So you know, in Top Step and FTMO, if you say you've got 5 days to hit target, if you hit target on day 1, for the next 4 days you can sit there and put a 0.01 in the market, let it move a tick and close it, and that is considered okay. In this company, in Trader Central, which is what makes me think they might be farming you out to a third-party prop firm who have rules, you cannot do that. So I've got 10 days minimum. I have to have 50% of my days positive. I cannot reduce my lot sizing on any of these days to less than 20% of my normal lot sizing. So I'm trading 0.05s on indices because they're tick their structure works slightly differently. So that's the same as a 0.5 or a 5, depending on which broker you're using. I can't trade with anything less than a 0.02, maybe a 3. So let's say, for example, I hit target on day 4 and I've got 6 days to go. These 6 days, I've got to trade a similar contract size and trade in the same way as I did on the previous 4. Otherwise, the risk team will look at it and go, nah, you just dumped massive contracts into the market to hit target, and then you basically gambled to target, and then you didn't trade properly. So that's the other thing about them that's slightly worrying, is they've got this rule in place, and it's a little bit woolly in a grey area, not documented that well. So anyway, sorry, I'm going on again. I'm always looking for the negatives in prop firms. I'm uber cautious. There's too many people trying to rip you off in this game. Right, so 4-hour extensions. Aussie dollar CAD. We've got nice rounding bottom going in at the moment on the Aussie dollar CAD. We've just come out of the 4-hour extension. We looked at this one yesterday. Nice indecision candle followed by bullish price action, and it's coming up very, very nicely. Looking for it to trade up into that area. This is a counter trend. If you took this one, it was nicely extended and it stayed embedded from here. So you've been in this for a few days now, but it's rounding nicely. Watching this area and this accumulation. Worst case scenario, pull back into the support rectangle, which is there, and then continuation down. Canadian dollar expected to continue to be strong based on oil, so no reason why we should be looking for longs on this. We should really be looking for shorts. So this is where you want to be looking to get in up at the highs and catch these big drops when the CAD powers up. But counter trend, working nicely. So M15 reversal alert was yesterday during New York, and that's holding at the moment. So it's a nice gradual rounding bottom. So you're going to be in it for days, waiting for it to get anywhere, I think. But it's going very nicely. Selling off nicely on the DAX from that double top. Textbook, that was. Spinning top, bearish engulfing at a previous high. Just watch this, but target that. So Aussie dollar CAD, same as yesterday. You've missed it really because it's already gone. It hasn't gone that far though if you look at it. So this is where you got the reversal. We're only 17 pips on a 100 ADR pair ahead. So if you wanted to get into this now, it's not really that late. We just had an hourly reversal alert, and this is where you want to be looking somewhere up there. So not bad. CAD Swiss has only just got extended. This has done a nice sweep of the highs. Didn't quite get there. Same as previous, really. Didn't quite get to the RSI extension. So because it's very sideways. But yeah, nice sweep of the highs. If we're going to stay within this kind of range that we've established, this is where I'll be looking for it to drop. But CAD I would expect to strengthen moving forward. Swiss franc's got nothing at the minute. It's just basically tagged into the euro. So I'd be more interested in looking for longs on this one. It's not great for a short. I don't think. I'd rather be looking for longs. So anywhere down in here for a next leg up. You see how far away this has been extended from the 24 for quite a while now. It's just on a very, very, very nice strong upward push. We have rejected that high, but I think we're going to break up. So I'm not really interested in that one. Swiss yen, I'm already in it, as you know. Big extension. So just looking for some momentum back up into these lows somewhere. but I'm in too deep, so I'm getting out early. Euro CAD, I was in, obviously that's now pushed back down again. Euro odd looks like it's just pushing back off those lows again. Euro CAD as an RSI extension, I'm not looking for longs on the euro, I'm looking for shorts. So yeah, basically just waiting for this to pull back up, potentially looking for short opportunities. Euro CAD, Euro Yen, same as all the other yens, you've missed it. This reversal alert happened yesterday, actually it happened this morning. It's a long one though. So this one hasn't gone far. Any of these yens, a lot of these yens, they haven't gone far so far. You've got time to get into them still. Especially this one, the euro, it's got way further to go. But it's going to rely on the euro being strong and the yen continuing to be weak. I'm just slightly worried about that strength. That was a lot of strength on the yen. And it came out of the blue. Again, there was nothing. There was no reason from a news perspective at all as to why that yen strengthened like that. So it was a massive move, and it came off the back of the US figures. So a bit of an odd move that. All kind of happened around the same time as Luna crashed as well. You know, this is all interlinked. There's guys sitting behind the scenes with billions and billions and billions, you know, and they have the power to move all of this. You take 3 billion of your wealth from somewhere you've put it and put it somewhere else. It makes a move. It makes an impact. So there's other stuff going on behind the scenes that makes these sorts of things happen, and they're not real moves, which is why we see V-shaped recoveries. They're not real. So the market comes back and recovers itself. It needs to sort these inefficiencies out. When banks and institutions get caught on the wrong side of these moves because they're made by other banks and other institutions, they will push it back the other way. There's videos on YouTube of bank trading floors and them timing all of the orders. The way, you know, the market maker desks, you know, there's 5 or 6 guys sitting there all counting down, ready to press the button at the same time to get this happening. You know, they start this move, and that makes everybody jump on that move. They start it with 2 or 3 million or 20 million in transactions. The market sees it go, then adds more and more and more, and the snowball effect just happens, and it, boom, before you know it, it's down there. And then all of a sudden, the banks that missed a load of opportunities need to come back and balance their books, and this is why these get filled. Euro yen, euro US dollar. Again, very extended. Euro, I'm short. US dollar, I'm long. I don't really want to be trading a mean reversion trade on this. It is going. I wouldn't like to see it get any higher than that. So looking for some kind of accumulation in there for another leg down. There's no reason why the US dollar should be weakening so much, and there's no reason why the euro will strengthen at the moment. Fundamentally, this is a short, and it's remaining a short until something changes. So we're looking for short opportunities on it. You're not going to get RSI extensions very often. We had one there, which is a beautiful reversal alert in the 24.72 zone with the RSI extended, which was lovely. We had another one there. Didn't quite get it there. So you're not going to get many opportunities to get in short on this one. So 24 bounces if you can get near them, or accumulations around the 24 for shorts. This is something you'll really want to be looking at on the 1 hour. Those are your opportunities. So yeah, at the moment it's a long, but it's a counter trend long. So just look at where you're going. You haven't got a lot of room. Be looking for shorts more than longs on that one. New Zealand dollar CAD. That's massively extended. Again, same thing with the Canadian dollar. Strength on oil, keep coming down. I wouldn't want to take a mean reversion against the CAD at the minute. So yeah, just very, very extended. Looking for somewhere around there or somewhere around there for a pullback. And the 24, but I mean the 24 is not getting anywhere. 24 is just not going anywhere near it at the minute. This thing's an absolute free fall, so hard to get into. Not really on my radar. And US dollar Swiss looking for longs. It's obviously very, very high and extended at the moment, and it's been very, very high and extended now for 4 weeks, for the month. Basically, you see, I've been trying to get into this thing short many times, and I keep getting out of it. I've given up shorting it. It's just, I'm not interested. No opportunities. So that's it on the RSI extensions. DAX is pushing up again, being very, very annoying. I'm stopping out above this high. If I stop out on this trade, I'm done for the day. I'm not going to get any more risk on the table today. Danger is you'll just try and when you've got an obvious setup like this, the danger you run is that you become so obsessed with that playing out in your head that you don't look at what is actually happening with price action. We've got a low, a new higher high. Yeah, we've put in a higher low. If this now breaks here, we've got bullish market structure. Should we still be looking for that gap fill? Well, the answer is yes and no, isn't it? But yes, we should be looking for the gap fill because gaps always get filled. On very rare occasions they don't, but they do get filled. 70% of them happen within 24 hours. A high proportion of them happen within the session after the gap was filled. Some of them take 2 or 3 or 4 days. But if you get obsessed with wanting to fill that gap now, today and for the next few days, and this thing just goes up, you're just going to get slaughtered. So you still have to pay attention to what price is telling you. Price is telling you at the moment, I'm going long. So right now, this is a long, which is why I'm stopping out here. So your options from here are to wait until we get to exchange open and look for exactly the same there. Yeah, look for some price action up there that tells you we're going short. So look for pause candles, look for rejection candles, and look for any kind of push up and bearish engulfing up at here. If you get that, get in. Stop above the high. Huge risk reward. But don't be blindsided by the fact that we are actually putting in bullish market structure. When we get there, yeah, there's nothing to stop that happening and then continuing up. Don't forget the other indices today as well, which is why you need to be aware of all the indices, not just one you're looking at. All of the US indices, yeah, are bullish at the moment because of the strength. I'm stopped out in that position. Of the strength of this downward move, we are due a bull day. You see there's a lot of buyers coming in at the moment. Yeah, and the thing you need to understand with stocks, obviously with the indices specifically, is the people buying and selling these and moving these are fund managers. The vast majority of them are fund managers. They're portfolio managers. They're pension companies, that sort of thing, investment firms. They will have their portfolios spread across oil and gas, across metals, across FX pairs. They'll have it spread across tech. They'll have it spread across housing. So all of these portfolios are made up of companies that are oil, that are not so much FX, are tech. They are that. There's lots of different sectors. Yeah. So if a investment firm wants to buy the tech sector because they need to do part of their 20% of their investment portfolio is on tech, they will buy tech. So NASDAQ, obviously, they'll be buying a lot of. But there's tech firms in there. There's tech firms in the S&P. There's tech firms in the Dow. So when they buy, they're buying all of these indices at the same time. So if stock is particularly cheap in the US indices and they want to buy it, they will be buying stuff in the DAX as well, because their portfolio is not just spread on one index, it's spread across companies across multiple indexes. Which is why you need to pay attention, which is why I have the NASDAQ, the S&P and the DAX. I'm looking at the market as a whole, not just a single instrument. Because this hits its support or resistance level, doesn't mean this is hitting a support and resistance. If all the US indices have got clear space all the way up to there, the DAX will get dragged with it. It will probably go slower and it will be more consolidatory, or it will go up, grind up slower, but it will do that sort of thing. So you just got to keep the bigger picture in mind and don't get too focused on one thing. But if you are going to get focused on one thing, just next level. That's the next level. That's where you take your next trade. And if it starts going down, add. That's where you make your money when you're trading in these indices, is adding as the trade plays out and making your positions bigger. From the DAX perspective, just looking for where we're likely to go to the upside. We've got this 2-day accumulation in here. Other than that, it's all the way up there, 125 ADR. I mean, it's nothing here. Look, there's nothing but clear skies recently above this level. So this is a really obvious level for a short on the DAX. But nice spamming. Tinder XYZ adult dating site. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. Sorry, let me just get rid of this idiot. What's your pornography? There we go. You are reported. Bye-bye. God. I honestly think people have got better things to do. I know it's probably a bot, but anyway. There's a bit of selling starting to show now. Yeah, so if we break these highs today, I don't really know where we're going. There's nowhere to stop. In here. So it's a clear run. But the other US indices obviously have got plenty of room as well. You know, all the other indices have got plenty of room. It's only the DAX really that's got any kind of resistance. But these have all got gap fills as well. Don't forget, you know, these have all got gap fills to do as well today. So it's looking highly likely, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, that's plan your trade, trade your plan. Right, that's all I've got for you today. and for this week. So Swiss yen, I'm babysitting, and euro odd, I am also babysitting. Both of them pretty much at break even. So I'm going to make a decision on these. I haven't got a lot of drawdown on them, but I'm just going to be very careful. I've banked 1% today on the DAX trades. I'll deal with these. I'm just going to watch these. I'm going to have both of these up on my side monitors, basically watching these two pairs only today. I'm just going to keep a very careful eye on price action, and what I might do is do some drawdown control and just use some of these profit trades to scale out of some of these others, just to keep the drawdown lighter. But only going to do that obviously if I see us putting in positive price action today. At the moment the London session hasn't got anywhere near the Asian highs, and it's looking fairly mixed, but a little bit more bullish. So and obviously the yen is looking a little bit more bullish, and obviously the euro is looking a little bit more bearish. So they're all going in my direction, but I'm just keeping a close eye on these, and I'll deal with them as necessary. But that's all I've got on. There's nothing else I'm interested in getting into at the minute. I'm being very selective on my positions because I want to be buying US, buying CAD, and buying everything against the yen, and selling the euro and selling the pound. And at the moment, there's not a massive amount of opportunities to do that I can see. So I'm just keeping my powder dry as such. As long as I'm scalping the indices every day and making money, for me at the moment that is paying the bills. But I want to get back into more positions. I'm still not 100% there on this market at the minute. And what we've got happening with NATO now, NATO doing lots of exercises, live exercises. That's exactly what Russia did before they started invading Ukraine. NATO's now starting to do exercises as well, to show their might to Russia, and that's only going to antagonize Putin. So I'm very cautious about somehow NATO being dragged into this in some shape or form, whether it be overtly or covertly, and then the markets are going to have a big reaction to that. So I'm still being ultra cautious, because if you get into a position and you get caught on the wrong side of another kind of invasion like that, you're just going to be stuffed, aren't you? So I'm being uber cautious, still getting into positions, but I'm getting in and out of them. As you see, my aggressive drawdown control is happening way faster than normal. So 3 positions in, I'm either aggressively getting in to get out of those positions, or I'm getting out of those positions, rather than waiting to go 5 or 6 and then starting drawdown control. So yeah, I'm only getting 1 position. That too much euro on yesterday. That was too much. That's what I was thinking. The upside targets are really far away. Stronger argument for coming down. Well, yeah, there's an argument for both ways. This is what I mean. These are difficult days. When you break to the upside with a downside target, it adds to the weight of filling that, because this is what they will often do. They will either do that straight away, as we saw yesterday or the day before, whichever one that gap fill was. Days all melt into one for me. Or they will push away and then they will dump. And this is where I would expect them to start dumping from, somewhere up here. So, but equally, you have to take into account that the US markets have gotten way more upside on them. And they're due to buy up. Stocks devalued at the minute. Very, very devalued. Yeah, as I say, when stocks cheap, that's, remember I said on Monday, stocks cheap, people will buy it. And then we got a bullish day. Then we dumped again. Stocks cheap again. People are buying. It's whether or not we're going to get a lot of buying. And we're not really seeing that volume coming in at the minute. So I think New York session is when we're going to get the vast majority again today. But this is lovely bearish price action going in here. We haven't quite got to the highs though. A good trade to take. That's a good trade. Sell limit up there like that. In fact, just below that high. Yeah, because if they are going to use this, because there's going to be a load of orders sitting here. Yeah, there's going to be tons and tons of buy orders sitting up there for two reasons. Everybody that has sold, has got a stop up there. That's a buy stop. Yeah, everybody that's playing the breakout is going to have a buy stop up there as well. If we get up to there and all those buy stops are triggered and those buy breakout orders are triggered and the sellers stomp on it and reject them, i.e. they absorb all of those stops and they absorb all of those breakout orders, and we break down from that, that means we've got way more sellers in the market today than we have buyers, because there are a lot of buy orders up there. Everybody that's sold at any point so far today, a lot of them institutional, longer term traders, they're going to have their stops up there, aren't they? If that lot all gets hit and absorbed, that for me is a very, very big sell signal. So a sell limit there is worth a pop. If you put a little stop on it, something like that, maybe a little bit more. Just give it a little bit of room to for the buyers to push and the sellers to absorb. Big old target. It's a pretty decent update so far on the DAX. Considering this is the Globex session, it's done a fairly decent body size already. But the safest order, obviously, is the one as price comes down. This is going to get you a much better entry. This is going to get you a safer entry on price action. It's all down to the individual. But yeah, critical point this on the DAX, so keep an eye. That's a tiny little order I've put in there. Just that's not really an order. Not quite there, but we'll see. But I'm done for the day. I'm already. I've got everything banked I want to bank today. I'm just going to keep an eye on my other open positions at the minute. So news-wise this weekend, nothing over the weekend we've got to worry about, unless something ridiculous happens with war and stuff. Why have I got China on now? I don't want that. So next week we got a fairly busy week. We got lots of US dollar news. We got lots of CAD news. We got lots of odd news. It's a busy old week across the board next week. So Monday's not particularly busy in the morning. We've got potential pound movement in the afternoon. It's just a case of hanging on, I think, until Tuesday. Nice manipulation all week. A little bit similar to last week, where we had loads and loads and loads of movement off the news. So I'm just going to try and get out of those positions today, as I say, and go flat for the weekend, and then have a look at everything again on Monday. So there we go. So just triggered into that one. Not really a lot of absorption going on here. It's bullish. But yeah, if you want to play this as a position today, just thinking again, if we're going to continue this morning to push, we're going to trend up. New York, think about where we're going to be by the time we get there, and look at this type of candle. Even if we have a bullish day and we've pushed up here, yeah, New York is likely to reverse today. If we push hard this morning, New York is likely to reverse us. Look at this day. Boom. Yeah. And think about where we've got to get to on the DAX. Yeah. If we push up here today, i.e. we just continue to trend up, we're going to have a whacking great green candle like that at the open of New York. Highly unlikely we are going to push up much further. If we do have a little push in New York, i.e. if the opening range goes up, I'd be selling the hell out of it, thinking we're going to aim for this. And if we don't get there today, I think they'll probably want to make headway into it to get to it the next day or the day after, early next week sometime. So I really still fancy that. It's just, just wait for, think long term, yeah. Wait for one of those on M5. Wait for something decent on M5, and don't worry about getting in like that. You've got such a long way. If it happens up here, you've got such a long way to come. Even if it's a massive bearish engulfing like that, yeah, get in. If it pulls back, get in again. Get in again when it does that. 3 positions, boom. So yeah, definitely buying at the minute. That has not been absorbed, any of that price action. Bulls all the way at the moment. So bide your time and wait. I'll watch that today. I might take a couple of trades on this account. I'll see what happens with these, with the euro and the Swiss, because these are my focus at the moment is these two. Okay, have a good weekend, everybody. I will be back on Monday at 7:50 usual time. I will be in the Telegram group if you need anything, if you want to run past any trades, if you want to look at anything, any questions about the indicators, etc., etc. I will be in there on all the time anyway. Yeah, and then Monday obviously we'll have a look at the market as usual, trade the open as we usually do, and see where we go from there. But have a good one. Any questions, come in the Telegram group. Otherwise, hopefully have a profitable day. Keep an eye on this DAX gap fill for an opportunity today, and I will see you on Monday.